Good afternoon. While we're waiting for the cameras to be turned on, let me start first of all by thanking Your Excellency, President Uhuru Kenyatta, for agreeing to be with us today on this panel. And you were one of the pioneers when we launched the first Africa Business Forum. So it's a real pleasure to have you back again. This time not talking about energy. The last time I think we had a memorable recollection of the conversation you had with President Macky Sall on energy. We're still talking about energy 4 years later because we're not there yet. But we wanted Your Excellency to talk about something that has been on the hearts and minds of everybody as we think about COVID. We're not talking about COVID because we want to begin to think forward. What is the build forward? What do we need to do? And so thank you so much for coming. We have seen and we have heard and we have all been in so many different forums where everybody has told us of the magnitude of COVID, how it is affecting the poor. It is going to turn about another 20 million more people into poverty. But then there is some hope. And where is that hope coming from? As at least when we talk about Africa, when we talk about Africa, we see some hope. We see hope on the technology side. We see hope on the internet. We see youth that is doing amazing things. And we thought maybe, you know, after talking about the downside and the vaccines and vaccine equity, and let's begin to think about the Africa that's hopeful and the Africa that can get out of it. And we looked around, and of course, Kenya is one of those places where there is hope. Kenya is a center for ICT. And so we thought, Your Excellency, President Uhuru Kenyatta, again, thank you for taking the time. Let's have you talk with the youth. So it's this combination of ICT, which is the hope, and the youth, which are the hope, have a conversation around that and see what we can do together to ensure that we can continue to build forward towards the SDGs. When COVID came, there was a big debate about should we stop the SDGs? Are we still going to meet the target? We think we can, and we believe that because of COVID, particularly in the ICT sector, there has been an acceleration of development, an acceleration of all the activity that is happening there. And maybe I'll just run through a few slides to show you what exactly we're talking about and where we are before we pass the podium over to His Excellency, the President, for his opening remarks. And what we hope is going to be a really interesting conversation around the ICT sector, the potential of it on the continent. We've seen significant private investment on the continent in 2020, even about $2.4 billion of investment in the ICT sector. That's why we want to talk about ICT and business today. FinTech has been leading that with almost about 31% of the overall $2.4 billion. E-commerce 5%, health 9%, but we believe that with COVID, by the end of 2021, we will see a lot more business in the health sector. Next slide, please. Where is this investment going? What are we doing with it? How is it working? Essentially, what is happening is a lot of the funding levels that have increased from 2016 to 2019. You must have heard, and Kenya is a big destination pooling all the Googles of the world. Everybody is going to Kenya. We hope that they can come across the continent. But with the AFCFTA, even if they went only to Kenya, we know that we will have benefits across the continent. For the first time in 2020, acquisition played a significant role, which also means that there is consolidation beginning to happen. We had almost $1 billion of mergers and acquisitions in the ICT sector. So there's investment, but there is also consolidation, and competition is becoming strong. Africa remains very innovative. I don't know if the slides are up. I don't see them up. I hope they are. Next slide. Innovation in Africa is thriving. We have innovation across the continent. There are hubs in 34 countries. The number of hubs has increased significantly from about 314 in 2016 to 643 in 2019. So 300 to 600 in a space of about 3 years. That's how fast we are having the innovation. And that's why, Your Excellency, Mr. President, of course, one of the conversations we keep having on the continent is about intellectual property rights and how we can protect this innovation, because this is one of these innovations is the next Google, is the next Twitter, and we need to ensure that we can protect it and create those jobs on the continent, add that value on the continent, and get the benefits on the continent. We will not be able to do that if we cannot protect our intellectual property. One of the things we're working on, and we're going to come and seek your help, is to see whether we can combine. There is a West Africa or Francophone intellectual property organization and Anglophone. Can we bring them together like the Europeans have done? The Europeans have recognized the importance of intellectual property. They've actually centralized it, and they're making it, ensuring that they can protect their innovation at the central level with reduced costs and facilitation and access to registration. Maybe on the continent we can do that. One of the interesting things on the continent is that we see that foreign registration of patents is much higher than local registration, than continental, than African nationals registering patents. Simply means that it's too onerous for Africans to register. And so all these ideas are being registered by foreign companies or foreign individuals. We need to find a way of keeping those ideas on the continent. Finally, of course, the gender gap. We're still having a problem. Next slide. Yes, there is a lot of innovation and a lot is happening on the continent, but I would be remiss if I didn't talk about the gender gap. We have a huge gender gap. Still only 15.2% of all this innovation or all the sort of business in the ICT sector is happening by women. They need a lot of funding. The Economic Commission for Africa, of course, has launched the African Women's Leadership Investment Fund, and we hope that through this fund, we can see more investment and support more women in the ICT sector. Because at the end of last year, we did a coding camp at the ECA. We had 2,000 women with ITU, UNIDO, and a number of the UN agencies. And these women, I mean, amazing things that we're able to do. 2,000 women across 53 countries on the continent working remotely to code and do different devices. And it was really, really fantastic. It shows that if women have the access to finance, if women have the access to technology, if women have the faster broadband, they can do a lot better. So we do hope that, again, you will be our champion. You are the champion of the youth on the continent, but we want you to be the champion of the youth and the women youth on the continent to make sure that this happens. We cannot do all this and we cannot say all this if we do not have energy. And that's the final and next session after yours, Your Excellency. Of course, I said the first time you came to us, you talked about energy, you talked about moving the energy access conversation forward much faster. This year, there's a lot of talk about COP26 and how we're going to talk about energy. We thought we should talk about energy, but not just household energy, not just lighting every house or finding a fridge in every house, but really about what Africa can do to contribute. We've heard the announcement last week of General Motors saying by 2035, they want to go to renewable cars and they want to go to electric cars. Tesla, that's doing that. We believe that on our continent, as Africa, with the African Continental Free Trade Area Agreement, we actually do have the potential to use ICT and to use energy production, battery production, to be a player in that global space. So we'll be talking about that. DRC, of course, has cobalt. You have nickel, Burundi has nickel, South Africa. We believe that if we look at the assets that we have on the continent and use the AFCFTA to leverage and create a global supply chain within the continent that transforms these raw materials into final products, we can actually, today we are only taking up 15% of the global cobalt market. It is a $3.3 trillion market when we go all the way to the end. We believe Africa needs and has a space in that market. And so in the second session, we will be talking about what we can do for more battery energy and ICT development and how you can do that better. So once again, thank you very much for being with us. And I hand it back over to our moderator, Amadou Maktamba. Thank you all the guests for listening and for joining us in this fourth Africa Business Forum. And we hope that we continue not just to talk about these things, but actually after this conference is to do them and to see how we can take Africa one step forward to the Africa we want on the Agenda 2063. Thank you.